meditation. They are not simple prayers. What do we do with somebody's prayer? You pray for your child, your father, your mother. How am I concerned with it? But in this case, they all chalk out a path for us to reach the Lord through prayers, through meditation. Janmaishwaryashuta Shribhim Yedhabanamadappumam Naivarhatyabidatum Vai Tvamakinchana Gocharam. This is just like in the Bible. In the Bible he says, it is easy for a camel to go through the eye of a needle, but not for a rich man to go through the gates of heaven. A man who is puffed with pride that I belong to such and such race, my father was a Diwan, my grandfather was this, Janma, Aishwarya, I got a lot of control, I got 600 employees under me, they're all, whatever I say, they will do it. So this sort of a control. Suruta, I have read all the Vedas, I know a lot, I can quote the entire Vedas by heart. Thus, because of wealth, because of your being born in a noble race, because of your learning, a person who is completely puffed with pride, he cannot even take your name once. He will not be able to take the name of the Lord once. He will not be able to call God Lord. He will never be able to do it. Because Tvamakinchana Gocharam, only those who have absolutely nothing, who possess nothing, only those people can see you. Akinchana. Kinchana means a little. Akinchana means not even a little. Absolutely nothing. Here again, it does not mean that you take away your, after hearing this, you go home, you take your AC, put it in the river, you take your fan, put it in the another portion of the river, and nothing is there. That's not the idea behind it. You have to leave your sense of possession. There could be 1,000 things around you, but you are not absolutely attached to it. You never say, this is mine, this is mine. If they are taken away by some burglars or thieves, you are not in the least worried about it, because it is never yours. Well, to give you an example of it, Janaka was a great king. He was a king who has realized the Lord. But because of his fate from the previous birth, we call it prarabdha, the tendencies from the previous birth, or rather the actions he has done the previous birth, he has to reap the fruit. He was a king also. He was a king enjoying all the luxuries of a king, but at the same time, he was an absolutely a liberated soul. And he was patronizing one big sage called Yagnavalkya, for whom he has built a small cottage just on the outskirts of Mithila. Mithila is the name of that city. And every day evening, this sage, Yagnavalkya, used to hold satsanga with all the people, so many other Mahatmas, so many other sages, small sages, they will all come, they will all attend. And every day, that much distance, Janaka used to come and he also used to attend. Unfortunately, even though the satsanga was to start by 7 o'clock and end by 9 o'clock, if due to any reasons of the state, because he was so busy with his kingdom's work, if Janaka was delayed by half an hour or 1 hour, Yagnavalkya will not begin his satsanga till that king comes. Then all the other audience, they all used to whisper among themselves, what sort of a sage he is? He is also afraid of the king. And because the king is giving him a lot of things, monthly provisions he is giving him, and he has built a kutia for him, built a small cottage for him. That is why he is trying to please the Lord, please the king. Otherwise, he is a Mahatma, he is a sage. He should have started the usual time. Why should he wait for a king? Then Yagnavalkya thought to himself, these people do not know the greatness of the King Janaka. So one day it so happened, the class was going on of satsanga, and a number of palace guards came running in a very agitated manner and went slowly to Janaka and whispered something in his ears. And the king also answered in a whisper, they went away. Then the entire lecture took another 1 hour. When the satsanga was over after 1 hour, Yagnavalkya casually asked Janaka, O king, those palace guards came in a highly agitated and perturbed condition. What is the matter like? Janaka said, nothing. Only thing was, there is a big fire around my palace, and especially the harem where all my wives and children live, that portion has been completely engulfed by raging fire. I said, why do you tell me? Call the fire brigade, that's all. He said, my lord, your wife and children, their lives are at stake, and you are sitting here and hearing the satsanga for 1 hour. Then she says, Anantam vatame vittam yasya me nasti kinchana. O sage, I possess nothing. But in one way, I possess something which is infinite. I possess everything. I possess the infinite. Mithilayam pradiptayam namahe kinchit pranashyati. So, as I own nothing, Mithila Nagari has nothing to do with me. Even if the entire Mithila Nagari is gutted in fire, well, nothing happens to me. I am not at all bothered. This is the answer he gave. So, he had everything, but he had absolutely no attachment to any of those things. And there is a way of a liberated soul. And that is what she says, you are akinchana gochara. Those who have nothing, only those people can realize you. Other people who are full of pride, due to whatever the reason may be, well, they can never attain you in any number of births. Thus, she praises him and then she asks for boons. Now, Krishna is prepared to go back, but unfortunately again, he finds that the eldest of the Pandavas who was ruling the kingdom at that time, after the Mahabharata war, that is Dharmaputra, he had fallen into depression. Why? When Dharmaputra was going on the roads, everywhere he found either old men or children along with women. All the young men and warriors have died in the war. So all the children, all the old men, all the women were looking at him with an accusing eyes. Oh Dharmaputra, you are called Dharmaputra, the one who follows the law, and you are killing so many people. Is that the law? So as if they were talking to him, their eyes spoke. And Dharmaputra was highly affected. Oh my Lord, what have we done? How many children have been deprived of their parents? How many parents have been deprived of their sons? How many wives have been deprived of their husbands? What a crime I have done. It's a crime which is unpardonable, whatever be the reason. Thus thinking, he fell into a deep depression. Krishna tried to bring so many sages, all gave him advice. See, look here, this is all in the game. This is the duty of a Kshatriya king, a warrior race. He has to fight a war when the war comes to his door. He can't run away from it, but he is not satisfied. So at last, Krishna feels the only man, perhaps, who can give him solace and take him out of the depression is Dharmaputra's great-grandfather, Bhishmacharya, Bhishma. Bhishma was a great warrior, but he was worsted in the war. He was defeated in the war. So nobody can kill him because he had that boon. He could live his life at any time he wants. This is called Ichha Mrityu. When he wants only he can live his life. And he said, this is not the time for me to die. The stars and the planets are not propitious. There is what is called Uttarayana, when the sun goes to the other half of the solstice, starting from Kumbha and all that. So it is that which is propitious. It is coming within a few days. So I shall live. How does he live? He has fallen down, full of wounds in the body. Then Arjuna makes him stand and then puts so many arrows. He falls over the arrows. So he has a bed of arrows. And Bhishma is just lying there, taking Lord's name, waiting for the day when he should leave his body. Then Krishna went along with Draupadi, along with all the Pandavas. And Bhishma welcomes the Lord. He says, "Oh compassionate Lord, what a compassion. Just at the time when I am going to die, you have given me your vision. You have come before me. What else do you want?" And then Krishna praises him on the position regarding Dharmaputra. Then Bhishma, when Krishna asked him, please tell all the dharmic laws, the moral laws to Dharmaputra, the eldest. Then it's not here, but it is there, people say. Even the Gospel of Ramakrishna, it comes. Then Draupadi laughs. Arjuna is asking Krishna, why does she laugh so loudly? Krishna said, she is your wife, you ask her. When they ask her, she says, you are asking for dharma from this man, this Bhishma. He was present at a time when Duryodhana wanted to dishonor me by disrobing me, by taking off all my saris. At that time, this Bhishma was sitting there, the great grandfather. I asked him, "Oh Bhishma, you know all the dharmas. Please advise Duryodhana not to do such dastardly things." But he turned his face away. And such a man is going to give you dharma? So she laughed. Bhishma says, it is absolutely true what you say, but at that time, my entire blood was made out of the food given by Duryodhana, that rascal, that bad man. And naturally my mind has become absolutely distorted at that time. But now, all these days, all my blood has been drained out in this bed of arrows. So nothing of that old blood remains. But now my dharma has come back to me. So I will let him know. And thus, he tells him the various dharmas, the moral laws, the laws which have to be adopted by a wife, the law which has to be adopted by a celibate, the law which should be adopted by a sannyasi, by a mendicant, the law which should be adopted by a man of warrior race. Like that, he tells him all the dharmas. There again, there is a beauty which comes in Mahabharata, not here. When he had told all the dharmas, Dharmaputra was not impressed. This comes in Vishnu Sahasranama in the beginning. She asks Bhishma, Ko dharma sarva dharmanam bhavata paramahamata kinjapan muchyate jantu janma samsara bandhanat. What you are telling me all these worldly laws, the moral laws related to the worldly life, I don't care. You tell me one dharma, one law, which is superior to all these dharmas, by adopting which I'll be able to reach the Lord. I'll be able to become one with Him. And then Bhishma says, the name of the Lord is the greatest dharma possible. You always take His name. Oh Krishna, oh Lord, oh compassionate. So you go on taking His names. And I will give you, for example, 1,000 names, and then he tells the Vishnu Sahasranama. This is the preface to it which comes there in the book. And thus he gave him all those things, and Krishna now at last, he returns to Dwaraka by his chariot. All the people in Dwaraka, they are all very happy to get Krishna back, because whether they knew that he was the Lord or not, they were so attracted by him, they could not bear his separation for long. So they were all longing that when will Krishna come, when will Krishna come? And they were all very happy when he came over there. And now, with this anecdote I will end. Now, Uttara gives birth to a son called a Parikshit. As per the usual practice, Dharmaputra calls all the astrologers, famous astrologers, and asks them to read the horoscope of the child and to predict how the child will be in his lifetime. And the astrologers, they praise him a lot. Oh, he is going to be one of the noblest. He will always tell only the truth. Just like Ram, he will never once utter a lie. And he will give in charity. And she will be the best among the archers. The bow and arrow, she can wield them with expertise. And like that, they told. And ultimately they told him, but he will get a curse from a great sage, because of which he will die at that time within 7 days from the day of the curse, having been bitten by one of the greatest of the king of snakes, the king of all snakes, known as Takshaka. And thus, because in those days, the astrologers were truthful. They will never hide the unpleasant portion and tell only the pleasant portion. So they told what all is going to happen. And thus, we are finishing today's portion, and we will see further tomorrow. Hari Om, Hari Om. Gopika Jeevanasmaranam Govinda Govinda. Kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmana va vikate svabhat karom yadya sakalam parasmai narayana yeti samarpayami. Narayana. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Sthapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharma Sarupine Avatara Varishtaya Ramakrishna Hayate Namah. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvartha Sadhye Sharanye Trimbake Gauri Narayani Namostute Krishnaya Vasudevaya Hariye Paramatmane Radhaklesha Nashaya Govindaya Namo Namah. Apadapahartaram Dataram Sarvasampadam Lokabhiramam Shriramam Bhujo Bhujo Namamyam. In the case of Srimad Bhagavatam, on which we are now expounding, the question arises, who is eligible to hear it? Supposing you want to join MA in botany, MSc in botany, they have prescribed certain qualifications. You have already passed BA with botany, then you are eligible. So in the same way, in this class for Bhagavatam, is there any minimum qualifications which are prescribed? You see, when Vyasa wrote this beautiful book, then he wanted that this should be propagated to the world. That should be a college life. And who is eligible to be the principal? Who is eligible to go around and propagate these dharmas of Bhagavata, the laws enunciated in Bhagavata? He said, the only one man who is fit enough for it is my son, Shukadeva. But unfortunately, Shukadeva had already gone to the jungle and he was deeply engrossed in meditation. It was not possible to easily wake him up. And we do not know whether he can be persuaded to come and learn the Bhagavatam from his father. So, Vyasa trained two of his disciples to tell two shlokas, two of the verses, which are enthralling. And he told them, you go into the jungle where Shukadeva is having his penance, and you sing these two verses. Positively this will wake him up. And Shukadeva will ask you, who is the author of this? These nice shlokas. Then you tell him, there is one great sage called Vyasa. He has done it. Don't say your father. You should not know that I have said you all. So, they go there accordingly. And One is, it's a description of how she dealt with Putana. When it's a small child, Putana was a child expert. She would only eat children, not adults. So that Rakshasi came well dressed and she wanted to give her breast milk to Krishna. That breast milk was full of poison and was certain to kill him. Ahobakiyam stanakalagutam apayad. See, her breast milk was full of a poison and she gave it with a view to kill Krishna. But what a compassion of the Lord. She said, she had done a work which my mother should do. And if my mother were to give me such milk, what recompense I can do for her? I can give her certain words where one could enjoy. So, lebhegatim dhatrujitam, just like his mother, she treated her and gave her a very good loka where she would enjoy and come back and take a higher birth. So this one, and then he says, Kambadyaram Sharanam Rajema, such a compassionate Lord, leaving him whose refuge we can take, whose shelter we can take. He is so compassionate, this Lord. Then the second verse was a description of Krishna entering back into the Vrindavan in the evening after raising the cows and bringing them home. And Barha Pidam Nadavarvaku Karnayok Karnikaram. The Lord has got the peacock feathers in the front of his head. And all the dust has settled on his body. It looks as if some gold dust has been spread over him. And he is having a beautiful garland which is called Vajayanti Mala. With that, he enters the Vrindavan. It is also an enthralling scene before us. And when they sang these two songs before Shukadeva immediately got up. He called them, hey, I've never heard of this shloka at all. Who has composed them? And then they said, there is one great sage called Vyasa. He has composed. Oh, Vyasa, that's my father. He ran to Vyasa and told him, Father, I would like to see the books which you have written when we have composed such nice poems. I have never heard such poems in my lifetime. And thus he wonderfully came and took over. But he laid down one condition. Normally, as I said, when you have to join MSc, you go and see the notice board in the college. They would have written that for the MSc, these are the qualifications. Similarly, in the topmost Bible of people who advocated non-dualism, that is Advaita, the Advaita, it is told that it starts with the first formula, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Atha means, if you want to talk and learn about the Brahman, then you should be qualified. How? Atha Sadhana Chaturtya Anantaram. You should be able to have the qualifications of 4 sadhanas, and then only you can come and sit in the class for Brahman. There are discrimination between the permanent and the non-permanent, Nitya, Nitya Vichara. And then you should have Vairagya, dispassion from all worldly things, and the mind should be exclusively engaged in the Lord and Lord alone. And then you should have Mamukshutva. Mamukshutva means that I want definitely to get rid of this bondage and get my liberation. So his mind should be having a longing for it. And when all these things are, and then there's another one called Shaksapati. That is 6 in 1. Again they contain control of the mind, control of the senses, then to be able to bear all sufferings without batting the eyelid, and like that they are prescribed 6 items. So in all actually it comes to 6 plus 3, 9. Unless you have all these qualifications, you are not entitled to come and talk about the Supreme Lord. Then Shukadeva told Vyasa, delete this class. I don't want any qualification. Whether it's a child, whether it's a madman, whether it's an adult, whether it's an old man, everybody should be entitled to hear this Bhagavata and to know about the Lord. And this is deleted. Then the second sutra is Janmadhyasya. Then in the MSc they would have written, what are the things that are taught? So you say organic chemistry. Then they will say, what is organic chemistry? And they will say inorganic chemistry. What are the things that are covered by organic chemistry? They will say the various metals and all that. Similarly, the second sutra or the formula like statement, a formula like statement, which is brief, it is called a sutra. So the second sutra says, Janmadhyasya, and the first shloka of Bhagavata begins with that, Janmadhyasya tonmayad idaradascha tesha vidyasurati tene brahmahridayadikavi mukhyanti surya. So, thus, there is absolutely no pre-qualification prescribed for entering into the realm of Srimad Bhagavata. Then, this Bhagavata, it consists of 12 parts, I told you. But all these 12 parts are not arranged in a haphazard manner. They are arranged in a particular sequence so that you start at the lowest rung of the ladder and it's a staircase so that in the 12th skanda you reach the goal, the destination. The first skanda is called the part of eligibility. The eligibility in the sense, not the general eligibility has already been told. This is, we want a guru. When you want to learn about Brahman, we want a preceptor, a teacher who can teach you the Brahman. He himself should be a scholar. He himself should have meditated and reached a high state. So, the eligibility for getting a guru, what sort of guru you can get, how to get the guru, this is what is told in the first skanda. Parikshit king, when he knew that he had only 7 days to live, he leaves everything and comes and sits on the banks of the Ganges without a vow where he won't take any meats or water. So, at that time, his mind was so full of the Lord. Oh my Lord, I got only 7 days to live, but I want God. I am prepared to do anything for it. And when his longing had became absolutely intense, very intense, that but for getting it, he is prepared to die even earlier. Today itself, if he is not to get God within 7 days. To that extent, he has a volcanic longing in him. And that is what brought one of the best of the preceptors that you can have for all ages, that is Shukadeva. He came and told him the story of Bhagavatam, through which Parikshit was able to straight away get his moksha, get his liberation. So the second adhyaya, the second part, the second skandha, it gives you the sadhanas. That is, what things you have to do to attain the state. And Shukadeva answers Parikshit and answers this question. Then the third skandha, it is called the Karyanvayana skandha or Visarga skandha. It also deals with how God Brahma, the creator, created the entire world and other creations, all the beings. And also it deals with the story of one of the greatest of sages called Kapila, where the Lord himself was born as Kapila and he established a new set of philosophy called Sankhya. So how the sages like Kapila were able to put into practice the sadhanas, the practices which are mentioned in the second skandha, and how they reached God. So that comes in the third skandha. The fourth skandha is called Purushartha skandha. Purushartha means when we live, what for do we live? We live for either of the four motives. One of the motives is called, they are called Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Number one, many people who are affluent, they say, I want to build a hostel for blind men. I want to build a hostel for those who have got nobody to look after them, that is the orphans. So this is Dharma. They want to build temples. The other motive in life is Artha. They want to earn a lot of money. That's all. They want to go on accumulating crores and crores of wealth. The third one is Kama, that is enjoyment. I would like to have a giant size refrigerator in my house. I would like to have central air conditioning of my entire house. And my car should be fully, it should be provided with AC, it should be cooled. So the one who wants to enjoy all through. So enjoyment is his only motive. Then there are a handful, perhaps 1 in crores, who wants to be liberated forever from this world, from the bondage of this world. And that is called liberation or moksha. So that they may not have any more birth and death. I should cease, the cycle of birth and death should cease. So that's what they want. permanently to be absorbed in the Lord and never to come back again to this world. So, for each one of them, there is a story which Shuka says. Then, so it is called the Purushartha Skandha. That is, in other words, there he finally proves whatever you want to enjoy without any impediment, whether you want to earn money, unless you seek the help of the Lord, you will not be able to achieve your ambition, your desire. And the fifth skandha is called Sthiti Skandha. Sthiti means to be established. It is not a question of for a few days doing meditation and then leaving it. You should be completely established in it. Never more you will slip down. You will live that life of a mendicant with all its laws being observed by you. You will never have the least negligence about it. And for that purpose, there is a story of Jadabharata and Rishabhadeva. Then sixth skandha is a very beautiful skandha. The sixth part consists of, it is called Pushti Skandha. Pushti means Anugraha, grace. You may do all the sadhanas in the world, you may have the best of teachers, and still we cannot get the Lord unless His grace comes. There is a last lap of the journey, just as when people go to the moon in the satellite, they don't go up to the moon in the satellite. Far, far away, they stop it and they stop the supply of the aviation fuel, that is the petrol, to the engine. And now what happens is that moon, it has got its own power of attraction. We call it the power of gravity. So it pulls, it attracts and takes you to itself. So sadhana can take you up to a certain distance, and the last lap of the journey is completed. You are pulled and attracted by the Lord only. And grace is important, and how grace can come to a demon. A demon who does only sins. He has never done any merits in his life, any good things in his life. How he can also be saved by the grace of the Lord. And also, fallen Brahmin who has got into the company of prostitutes, and how he finally was saved. So these stories are there in the sixth skandha. The seventh skandha is called the Vasana Skandha. What happens is, many of the actions we don't do out of our free will. Because we have done some actions in the previous birth, so those tendencies have left an impression in our mind which propels you in this birth to repeat the same act. In my previous birth, I have been going to temples. So in the next birth, I am automatically drawn to the temples. In the previous birth, I was going to certain places where dice was being played, Monte Carlo, where these dice and roulettes are being played. So in this birth also, I would like to follow the same thing. So this is called the vasanas. These vasanas can be good vasanas, can be bad vasanas. And he gives an example of one Hiranyakashipu for the bad vasanas and his son Prahlada in respect of good vasanas. Then we come to the seven. All right, you have defined that there are vasanas. How to get rid of them? So it is called Vasana Nirasana Skandha. That is the part where how to remove the vasanas are being told. There are only two main things there, that when you are in a danger or calamity, think of the Lord. He is sure to help you. Apadi Bhagavat Smaranam. Whenever you are in danger, in a crisis, when it is a question of life and death, pray to the Lord. He alone can save you. And similarly, Sambadi Dhanam. When you are very affluent, you have got a lot of money, then there is also the vasanas that you are enjoying, all those things. So how do you get rid of it? You give away your properties, you give away your wealth in charity to the needy people, the poor beggars, or to blind men, like that. You give them away. Dana, charity. And this is the way. Now we come to the 9th skanda. 9th skanda, it is called, where the various kings in that line where Krishna was born and how they were devoted to the Lord, they are all mentioned. It is called Manvantaranucharitam. Then the 10th skanda, 11th, are most important. The 10th skanda is called Nirodha Leela. Nirodha means the mind should be completely stopped. There should be no thoughts. All thoughts stopped. And then only you can get the Lord. The mind should be annihilated. So that's called Nirodha. The 10th skanda is fully dealt with, fully dealing with the sports, the disportation of Lord Krishna, both as a child and also as an adult later on. We call them as Bala Leela and Prauda Leela. And when you hear them, however many times you have heard, again and again when you hear them, you are attracted towards those stories. You are so attracted, your mind is completely concentrated on it. You forget the world, you have forgotten your home. So the entire world is forgotten during that period. We call it Prapancha Vismarana. To forget the entire world at that time. And naturally, when all the thoughts regarding the world are eliminated, then what happens? Then your mind is absolutely in a stop. It doesn't move. The annihilation of the mind has taken place and we will be with God. Either we are with the world or with God. Eliminate the world, we are only with the Lord. And the 11th skanda is called Mukti skanda. The various methods, the various yogas, Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Hatha Yoga, all these things are mentioned in the 11th skanda, and they are the methods by which we can get liberation. So it is called the Mukti skanda. Then finally, the last of the 12th skanda, it is called Ashraya skanda. The question is, you get your moksha. Yes, you cease to come over here. You cease to take birth and there is no more birth and death. Then where do you go? In the moksha, where do you go? The final refuge or shelter where we reach after the mukti is the Supreme Lord only. So that is described in a brief way in the 12th skanda, and thus the Bhagavata is a staircase to reach the ultimate reality by the various means which are prescribed in Bhagavata. And now we are moving to the story. Parikshit has become a king has grown. It has grown into a land. And Dharmaputra and all the Pandavas, they install him in the throne and they go away into their respective places. And Parikshit is the king. And Parikshit, one day he was going in the jungle and he saw that we call this the Kali age. There are 4 ages we have prescribed, just like we say the Stone Age, the Metallic Age, the Electronic Age, just like that. The Parikshit suddenly saw that an innocent cow and an innocent bull were being tortured and beaten by a person dressed like a king. And Parikshit is highly angry. In my kingdom, who is there? Who is dares to torture the innocent beings? And he puts his arrow in his bow and he wanted to kill that man. He just falls at his feet and says, I am the God in charge of the Kali Yuga and I am called Kali. I am the God or the presiding deity over this Kali's age. And Kali always means the quarrels or the altercations between 2 people. I quarrel with you. It's all called the Kali. So in the Kali Yuga, that is what happens. Everybody quarrels with everybody. The father with his son. These sisters among themselves. Husband and wife. Everywhere you will find. And country. Everywhere this Kali is present. And when he fell at the feet of Parikshit, he asked him, look here, Kali, I don't want you in my kingdom. My kingdom should be pure and just. I don't want you here, causing quarrels among people. You get out of my kingdom. Then Kali says, the entire world is yours. Your kingdom extends throughout the world. So where can I go outside your kingdom? So please, give me some places where I can live even inside your kingdom. He said, Dyutam, Panam, Striyaha, Suna. He says, wherever people are playing dice, be there and cause quarrel. Then, wherever people are taking liquor, the local liquor or whiskey and all that, I mean to an undue extent, there you will be. And thirdly, wherever there are prostitutes, you will be there. And lastly, wherever there is slaughter of the animals, the butcher goes and kills the sheep or the lamb. So, that sort of place where there is slaughter, you will be there. These are the 4 places. Then Kali requests, sir, these 4 places are not enough. Give me one more place. The king said, all right, wherever there is gold, you will be there. Wherever there is gold, people will be quarreling. I will have it and I will have it. They will try to kill each other. And that is why she chose that. Well, afterwards, the king Parikshit is now once he goes into the forest in order to hunt. A king normally goes and entertains himself by hunting the various animals, especially the wild animals. So he went into the forest, but somehow he was alone. And he was hungry and also very thirsty, and he couldn't see any place where he could quench his thirst. He saw there one sage called Shringi Maharshi. Shringi Maharshi. He was doing meditation. He was in deep meditation. He was almost in the samadhi stage, where he has forgotten his body even. He goes to him and says, "O sage, I am King Parikshit. I am very thirsty. Please give me a cup of water." Well, Shringi Rishi was completely outside the purview of this world. He didn't hear. He was with the Lord. So he didn't heed the words of the king. He didn't get up at all. He was not aware of the presence of the king. The king got angry. After all, he is my subject. I am the king of this kingdom, and this fellow is not giving me the due respect. And so, what can you do? Just only in a sort of a fun. There is a dead serpent lying there. He just took the dead serpent and put it on the neck like a garland, on the neck of the sage Shringi, and went away. Shringi was not aware. But then, in a few minutes, Shringi's son, who was also a sage, he came over there. Then somebody told him what happened. He was extremely angry. This fellow, this king, he dares to disrespect my father, to dishonor my father. I will teach him a lesson. And then he curses him. This king will die from the bite of the biggest serpent, the king of the serpents, Takshaka, on the 7th day from today. What is the significance of 7 days? See, normally, when you have to give a charity, you will give 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 20 rupees, 30 rupees. Nobody will give 18 rupees, 17 rupees. So, either the curse should be have for 10 days, on the 10th day from today, or 20th day from today. But we will curse that in 7th day. That's got a significance for all of us. This should tell us that all of us have to die within these 7 days: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. These are the 7 days. We can't die on any other day. So, in order to tell us that we are also subject to the same danger of death one day, we have to do something to prevent it. We have to think of the Lord, we have to worship the Lord. Because of that, there is a significance of the curse saying that on the 7th day from today you will die. And there, when Shringi came back to his consciousness, his son was weeping. Now, why are you weeping? Then he told him, "See, that fellow has put this serpent on you, on your neck. He is arrogant, this king. So I won't teach him a lesson. So I have cursed him that he has to die." And the father censures him. He says, "Son, you have done a very bad thing. You have got the powers, but we should never use it like this indiscriminately. This king is the best king that you can ever have. He has been dealing with his subjects in a very compassionate manner and full of justice. And if this king is lost, there will be nobody to rule over this kingdom. And there will be no king to supervise everywhere. Thieves, burglars, dacoits and gundas. Only you will fight them all everywhere and people will suffer. You have done a very bad thing. And then somehow he sends a message to the king.